Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my Tuesday photo editing live stream where I edit your photos live and I use Olympus Workspace for the Olympus cameras and then Lightroom for just about everything else. And it's where you can submit your images, uh, preferably before the stream, but also I put my image out there for everyone to edit. It's always fun to see what you guys do with my images and I always try to pick something kind of interesting. Uh, I thought this week's was kind of interesting with the merry-go-round. Um, it was really some interesting edits. I just had a quick peek just now when I was downloading them. But let me see. Let me see. Oops, this is the wrong screen. Here. I hope everybody can see and hear me okay. If somebody could just chime in and let me know the audio and video looks good before we get started. But I see Mr. Vacation is here. Yeah, that was weird, right? In the last stream where I don't know which end got hacked, YouTube or you or me. It just that was weird. Um, but I found the best thing to do is really just ignore any kind of weird chat messages you get, and then individually you can block them, or if I'm paying attention, I can kind of put them on hold or block them temporarily. Hopefully that doesn't happen in today's stream, but you never know, right? Um, let's see. Thank you, Mr. Vacation, for confirming. And I see John Yutze, Steve Page, Ruth is here. Hello, Ruth. That's a new name. I don't think I've seen your name here before. And John Follows, good to see you. Jonas, good morning or good afternoon from Finland. Oh, so you're right out there with Peter and Maddie. That's kind of cool. Um, and John Yutze, Matt, good to see you. HKM, awesome. And Samir, Jeff Painter, always good to see you. Roberto, good to see you. Man, I have to watch your video on that. I forget what it was called. Something about people selling their JPEGs for, millions of dollars. That was interesting. I mean, it was interesting when I saw it about a month ago, but I'd like to see your take on it because I still don't know anything about it or understand it at all. Randy's here. Good to see you. Rob Shoot Photos. Leon. Uh, and let's see. Thank you, John, for confirming. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, this is the 100th episode for photo editing, right? Or thereabouts. I don't know if I numbered them correctly, but uh, yeah, 100 episodes. So if I'm editing on average, a dozen or 20 images, today's a little lean. I only see like a dozen here. But yeah, I've edited well over 1,000 images, right? And before I actually started doing them separately, I used to do them as part of the regular photo chat live stream, do 4 hours straight. And so if you count those, yeah, I'm probably closer to 1,500 images I've edited online. It's just shocking, but it's really helped me a lot with my own photo editing that I do. But even more so in the field, right? Looking at the scene, composing it. Um, so I'm working towards getting my 10,000 hours of editing so I can be an expert, right? Is what they say. You need about 10,000 hours to be good at something. And thank you, HKM. And let's see. Leon has a question. Did you taken any stills of the railway bridge in your intro? Looks like a very nice area. Yes, I did all of those. Some of that with the M1 Mark II, some of that with the TG5, because I took both cameras on that trip to the Great Smoky Mountains here in the U.S. And yeah, I took all of that footage. And Rob Shoot Photos, you sent a pic today. Okay, I'll look for that. And Shutter Up Photography. How are you? From Australia. Let's see. And then, wow, Noe's doing it too, huh, Roberto? Interesting. I gotta look into that. I could just sell one photo for a fraction of what I'm seeing online or hearing about. Um, Man, that would help a lot. Oh, hey, Annette, good to see you back. And let's see, there was another question. Copyrights, your thoughts, please. I'm not an attorney, but generally speaking, in the United States, um, whenever you publish something online or take a picture, you're supposed to register it with I think it's the Copyright Office, but there's a place you can register your images so that, and I forget the fee. It's like 300 bucks, $300 fee once a year or one time. I looked into it briefly a little bit last year because someone was stealing my images, my professional images. Um, and I haven't read about it since. But that's what you do here in the US is you register your images with the government, and I think it's the Copyright Office or Patent and Trace. There's somewhere online. If you research it and Google it in the US, you'll find it pretty easily. And once they're registered there, it's very easy for you to make a claim against anyone that's using your images. Um, and it generally, I think in the kind of work that I do, you don't you don't go for the jugular right away, right? You email the person, cease and desist or pay, double whatever the going rate is that you charge for using your images. And because potentially, right, in my work in real estate photography, architectural photography, they're potential clients, right? So I don't want to just start, you know, attacking potential clients. I want to reach out to them first. And then there's all kinds of articles on Petapixel, about what constitute fair use of other people's images, like for educational purposes, or if you're just outright stealing the images without making any substantial modifications to make it your own. I think there was an article recently about a Prince picture of Prince that somebody used, and they lost their court case after a couple of appeals, apparently. But they lost the person that stole the image lost and had to pay whatever amount to the photographer for use of those images. So, it hopefully you never have to get into any kind of lawsuits, Uh, hopefully you can just reach out to the person or have your attorney reach out to the person and ask them to pay you the fee, and then maybe they'll be a potential client. That's how I kind of look at it. But I think in the case of this Petapixel case, they were blatantly just using the photographer's images without permission, whether or not they um, modified it to some extent. Um, yeah, Mr. Vacation makes the point. If you can prove ownership, then it's copyrighted. So by default here in the US, if you take a picture, you're automatically copyrighted. But registering your picture helps your case, right? Okay. Yeah, HCAM, yeah, Tony and Chelsea had some photo stealing. I didn't watch that one, but um yeah, I let me this is not really a photo chat stream, but let me look it up real quick. I think I bookmarked it under my photography tabs. Uh yeah, it's the US Copyright Office. So you go to copyright.gov, and so that's the link for copyright.gov, and then registering your work. They have a lot of things on there you can read about. But that's how you do it here in the US. And then they have articles on copyright law, which is what Title 17 of the US Code, what they do, what the fees are for registration. Let's see, current fees $45 for a single author. I guess I can just show it. $45 for a single author, all other filings $65. Registering a group, registration update or revisions. So it's hard to see, it's hard to tell what your actual cost is if you want to register, hundreds of images, thousands of images, or one image. I don't have a feel for this pricing, and there's a lot of segmentation here. But okay. Oh, you can't see that. Um, this is what I'm looking at. Copyright.gov. There are the fees, and then down here, tell you how to register your work, what the laws are, all that stuff. So, like I said, I looked into this last year when it happened to me. I ended up not doing anything because I don't know, I should though, because it can happen again, right? Especially in my field of work where they, uh, where agents, they lose the listing and another agent takes over and they use the same images from the previous agent, but that agent doesn't have, didn't give them permission to do that. A, because they're not allowed to give permission. They're my photos. And then two, uh, well, that's it. They're mine and they have to pay me. So what I do is I email that person, that agent that used the images and say, you're welcome to use the images if you pay this fee. And if you'd like me to do other work for you, because obviously you like my work, you're using them. I'm available at these rates. Or otherwise, I have to say cease and desist, and here's my copyright registration for these images, yada, yada, yada. And what I do now, actually, that mitigated a lot of that problem was I put little watermarks in the images. For residential, you can't do that, but for commercial property, which is what I primarily do, you can put watermarks in the images of the agent that it's licensed to, and that's what I do. I don't put my own personal watermark. I put the watermark of the agent so that if another agent takes it, they'd have to do a little extra work to crop that out or blur it out. At which point, if they do anything like that, it's a clear case of copyright infringement because they actively tried to modify the image to not identify the original copyright owner, which is me, right? Or who had the rights, which would be the agent. So, okay, let's go to, oops, let me close that window. Yes, and Olympus lets you update your EXIF with your name, and you can strip EXIF data out of an image. And a lot of times when the images get delivered to the client, whatever they upload it to, uh, the EXIF data usually gets stripped anyway. So it's not really a reliable way to uh, protect your images. I mean, it's just one more measure you can do, but it's not reliable, right? Because it's easily stripped out. What I like to do, this will be in one of my tips and tricks videos, so you guys are getting a heads up, is I actually put my email address in the EXIF data as well. So I put my name and I put my email address in the EXIF data so that uh, what that does is, it doesn't protect the images any more than it would otherwise, right? Because it's just my name and email address. But if somebody gets my camera, you can go into the camera and look at what the EXIF data settings are, and you'll see my name and email address. So if they are so inclined to return the camera to me, they have a way of contacting me via my email address, right? Uh, Robin Wong, what he does is he doesn't format his memory cards, he just erases the pictures, but he keeps a little text file in the root directory of the image of the SD card with his contact information. And that to me is not reliable because if they throw away the SD card, you know, or don't know to look there, it's a little hard to prove that that's your camera just because that SD card is in there. But if the EXIF data is programmed into the camera directly, then you can say, see, it's programmed in the camera directly. It's not on this little SD card. So, okay. Uh, yeah, I don't know about those apps, Roberto, that keep those images in perpetuity, well, forever, is an easier word for me to say. Perpetuity or something. It's in commercial real estate, it's not quite as critical in that respect, even in residential to some extent, because in commercial property, really a lot of the properties are empty or gutted. There's nothing there but space. Or when you go there, it's been refitted with cubicles and walls and all kinds of things, right? And after a few years, when a new tenant moves in, the inside can look totally different. They may take walls down, they may add windows. It's like so the pictures are they basically expire. They have an expiration date in terms of usability, almost, kind of naturally, organically, in a sense that the properties change a lot internally. The external doesn't change much, but sometimes they do because they refit, they reface them and things like that. So those apps, even people's homes, right? Residential, not quite as much as commercial. Commercial, it seems like every time a new tenant moves in, they reface the front, they redo the interior, and then when it goes to sell again, it doesn't. They're not representative of the property, which technically is a break in code of ethics that you're not representing the property accurately if you're using pictures from, say, 5 years ago. Whereas in residential, pictures from 5 years ago might still be valid, right? Because the owner that's living there didn't do anything anyway. Uh, yes, they should pay me, I guess, technically, right? Uh, that's something to think about. Like I said, I haven't looked into it that hard. I'm more worried about the day to day making a few bucks, right, in the business. And the few times that if even if it's every time these things get archived, etc., into some app, again, it's too big a problem for me to think about, you know. But I guess I should be if I was more professional. But I'm just a one man operation, right? If I was a little bigger photographic company, right? Uh, And there's some big ones in this area. They probably have attorneys that stay on top of that or hire attorneys time to time to stay on top of that. But as a sole proprietor, it's really hard to keep track of all of the paperwork, to do your taxes, to run your business, and then to try to follow up on these copyright issues. Uh, yeah, it's a lot, and it should be done, but I just don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, if anyone wants to steal your photos, right? Okay, that's enough photo chat. I think I'll save that for Thursday. The rest of this. So let's go ahead and get into the images. I think that's why everybody's here mostly, right? And I'll push this button. Voila! I'm really digging this live streaming. I've kind of got I reprogrammed my keyboard, so I'm really happy now. Okay, so what do we have here first? We have something here from Jacob. What the heck is this? Uh, Probably a macro lens. Let's see. No, kit lens, 14 to 42, EM10 Mark II, 42 millimeters f14. So you wanted a wide depth of field, but you got your shutter speed at 1/4 second. So I assume you're on a tripod. Uh, oh, okay, I'll take a look at the end, Jacob, for your thing. Um, what is this, Jack? or Jacob. What am I looking at? I don't even know how to edit. Oh, so you use some extension tubes on this. Okay. Passion fruit seeds. Yeah, it looks like seeds of some kind. At first, I thought it was some kind of microscope picture, right? Blood cells or something, or alien blood cells. Chia seeds in a glass of water. Okay. Thank you. So, honestly, there's not a lot to edit here. Maybe just improve the sharpness, right? And we'll do a little manual sharpening. Uh, let's do about a 2 radius, maybe a 20 on the threshold, and then we'll add some gradation just to kind of even out the image. Uh, and then just um, just a little bit of a tone curve to add some contrast. Um, man, this is basically a texture image, so there's not much. I mean, my brain, I just can't think of anything creative for this. Um, you'd think I can edit this a lot, really. Okay, let me stretch my brain, put some wrinkles in there. Let's see. I'm at a loss. I mean, maybe a dramatic tone filter. Wow, that's a little strong. Let me reset this. No, I mean a black and white maybe with some accidentally clicked the wrong button. Let's do black and white and I don't know. Joan Jonas says crop it hard. Problem is it's a little soft when you get in close, right? Um, I don't see any of the seeds in focus. So cropping in is not going to be ideal or cropping in too much, but maybe get out of the light there. You know, we don't need to see too much. And let's do a little bigger radius on the sharpening, see what happens. Ooh, getting halos. All right. So I think 2 is about right. Sorry, Jacob. That's all I can think of on an image like this. I mean, some vignette. I always like vignette. And then some split toning. Let's give it a cyan. All right. No, it's not a rule. But you know, when you're working with raw images, the question is, you know, I noticed the S curve is a thing people do. Is that a rule? And it's not a rule, but generally speaking, like when you're working with raw images, the tone curve is linear, meaning it's a completely straight line, right? From bottom left to top right. when you look at JPEGs, they typically apply a S curve to add a little more contrast in JPEGs. So to make the image a little more pleasing from a raw image is you try to apply some of the same things that you see done with JPEGs. So the S curve is like the most common way to add a little bit of contrast to the scene because the raw images are linear. Ideally they're a linear straight line in the tones so that you have the most flexibility to do whatever you want. Okay, yeah, it's tricky, right? So I'm going to leave it there, Jacob. I am just at a loss what to do with this. I think this would make an interesting image to overlay on top of another image. But by itself, it's, I think, maybe a super heavy vignette, like you're looking through a microscope. And we'll just call it there. So there's the before and after. Um, oops, wrong button. Maybe it's, yeah. There's the before and after. So something, right? Something different, but not much. My problem with this edit that I did is that it doesn't really add any, it doesn't make it any more interesting than the original. The original is very interesting by itself. Cropping in and going black and white, it's still the same picture in terms of impact and message, right? So I think this will make a more interesting image as a backdrop to something else, like me sitting here, right? This could be my backdrop instead of my uh, instead of this wood wall. I could use this as a backdrop, right? Okay. Um, where is this? All right. Let's go to the next one. And yeah, the vignette helps, right? That's why I like vignette. All right, let's see. We have one here from Mr. Vacation. Sent me a JPEG, so I'm going to be a little limited on flexibility. Looks like an action shot, basically, sort of a moment, but it's just blurry. You miss focus here on the glass. Focus is back here. Uh, but I like the nice warm tone, so I'm going to keep it in color. I think that adds to the mood. I just have to emphasize this drama a little bit. Maybe get rid of this one blue. Let's go a little tighter. I like the glass on the right. This outlet I'm not crazy about, but let's do a standard 4:3 crop. Now this image is front and center. Uh, it's watered down coffee. Okay. Let me see. I don't know if I pull back a little bit, but increase it here. I'm on the red channel. Let me do that and then warm it up a bit too with the white balance. Okay. Now let's work with the tones. We'll push it back up in here. Definitely a heavy vignette. Maybe even heavier than that. Let's do about that. All right, let's pull. See if we can get all the light right in the center. Okay, good. And maybe a little more contrast. Okay. And then we'll pull back the saturation a tiny bit. And we just need a little bit of straightening. All right, let's see if we can jack it up with some weird sharpening. I do this. And it's a little slow today. All right, that's good. That just adds a little bit more crispiness to the image. Then we'll sharpen these details. Make it a little bit more color. And I'm going to try. Let me see what this looks like. If I just, I doubt this is going to work, but I just wanted to see if I can miniaturize it a tiny. Yeah, there we go. It's just too bad this is out of focus right here. All right, so let's pull the curve back a little bit after that. To pull that. Let me go back to the red channel. I just need a little bit cooler colors. In the shadows, maybe. Just to give it a slight vintage look to it. Okay, I'm going to call it there. Uh, so there's the before and after. Um, so a couple things, right? You know, the faucet in the background's in the way. Obviously, the center glass is out of focus. And I think compositionally, we're okay going front and center. You know, cropping out this table or over here. But I wish there was a way to angle this so that this was not sitting right over it and this light switch wasn't in the image. So maybe move left a little bit if you could, if that's even an option. You might be in a restaurant where this is where you are, right? But okay. Uh, there we go. Oh, thank you, Roberto. All right, we have one here from John Hewitt, Mr. Vacation. Oh, another one. Okay. I think you sent this one much earlier, though. Um, that's okay. This looks familiar. I think I did this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did this one already. Okay. So, if not, I'll come back to it, Mr. Vacation, but I'm pretty sure I did that one. Let's see, we have one here from Leon. Okay. The boat shot. Let's see, EM5 Mark III, 14 to 150, 17 millimeters. All right. Nothing wrong there. This is interesting, this wave pattern here. I'd have probably focused on this because this over here is a little bit, feels out of place with the image. You know, this orange boat or whatever this is it's kind of interesting, but okay, I'll come back to the B after this one then. I'd like to get rid of, let's see this line here. Let me see what that looks like. A little bit abstract. And the color's kind of flat, so I'm just going to go black and white. Well, let me pop it real quick. Let me see if a pop art helps. Not really. I think this would make a nice black and white abstract. So I'm going to go here and I don't really need a filter, but if I did, let's see what the red does. That might, yeah, that separates the tones a little better. Let's do some dehaze. Oh, too much. I want to go for a soft look here. Let's do soft focus. And we'll pull in some RGBs. There's Shutter Up. There's a link down below where you submit your images. I don't have too many images today, so if you want to send one today, you can use that link below, and I'll just grab it when I finish all of these. Um, okay, I need more contrast. And maybe I don't even need this I don't think I even need the landscape in the background. I wish it wouldn't jump like that on me. I think I can go right there. Yeah, I'm liking that. And then let's just give it some heavy shadows. Just a light vignette and throw a little sharpening back in. Turn off this filter. Maybe just compress the scene a little bit more. All right, I'm going to call it there. I'm just doing kind of an abstract, right? But there's the before and after. Um, I mean, a little, a white frame around that image would look really good on the right. But the boat, the two boats there, well, they're not really boats, but uh, they're just so disruptive to the scene. And I don't see a way to make that work. I mean, sometimes having having sort of a juxtaposition of a very smooth flowing scene with something more stark, like harsh, like straight angles and things like that that you have in this image work. But I couldn't make it work here. I just went with more of an abstract, which I thought that was a lot more interesting image. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Leon. Yeah, it's quite a bit different, right? Not at all what you're expecting, I'm sure. But I think one other thing I might do is just not where is it? Oh, sometimes you can add a frame effect, but it's blocked out here. So I think a white frame around this would look really good. Okay, so let's go back to the bee. And first thing I need here, this is another JPEG. Is there any EXIF data? Oh, it's a Canon. Okay, you know, you can send me the Canon raw images, Mr. Vacation. That way I'll have a little more flexibility when I'm editing. But that's okay. Let me see. Let me bring up the midtones a little bit with some gradation. And we need to work on the sharpening. So I'm going to go here. Let's do another 2 and a 20 on the threshold. Then if I can just bring a little bit more in. Because it's a little bit out of focus, sort of like your previous shot. Let me see your EXIF again. I don't have the maybe you used an adapted lens here. But yeah, you need a little more depth of field. It's just a little bit too shallow. Because you nailed focus here on the fur, but then when you get down from just from the eye, just right here from the eye to the nose here is out of focus. Just that little bit of difference. So yeah, you really need much higher aperture. Okay, and then color-wise, I think we're pretty good. Let me see if I can just raise it up a little bit more. And let's balance the flower with the bee. Okay. Ah, nope. I raise it here. I raise it this way a little bit. It's okay. And then, yeah, vignette, just a light vignette. And some clarity. A little more. See if I can push this. All right, I'm going to call it there. So there's the before and after. So basically a slight crop, raise the shadows and just add some sharpening to bring it a little bit, a little more sharpness into the image because the depth of field is so shallow. Uh, but I think that works. And then balancing the flower, right? Because this gap over here on the left is a little distracting. So just cropped in just to balance it on the right and left. And that's it. Okay. Uh, Rob shoot photos. Yeah, Mr. Macro over there. Um, if you guys don't know, Rob shoot photos has a great Instagram with macro shots of bugs. You know, I'm not a big fan of bugs, but if you like macro photography, Rob shoot photos is an awesome macro photographer. I guess technically it's close-up photography, but um, it's more commonly referred to as macro photography. Okay, one here from Jeff Painter. I have a lady sitting here on a bench looking at birds, probably. Is that a bird feeder? No, that's... What the heck is that? It's like water. Oh, this is a trail and that might be a stream. But the stream is over his head. Oh, that's a leaf. I don't know what that is. It's distracting me. Maybe those are, I don't know. Okay. So we did EM1 Mark II with a 12 to 40 Pro. Yep. Pretty standard there. Um, this image, the way she's looking up, I think I'm going to go vertical. Oops, oops, oops. Ah, come on. Try that again. Let's go vertical. 4x3. Vertical. Over to the left. Inch up. Inch up here. Let's see how that looks. It's too bad that tree got cut off. Uh, I go square. Square is going to lose some of the, but it does save the tree in there. Okay, let's do some gradation. Bring in the shadows. Push them just a little bit more. There we go, and then pull it here. Pull the highlights in just a little bit. And I need a slight tilt. I'm looking at the bench here and it's crooked. I mean, benches can be crooked, but all right, sharpness, that's debatable. I might take that off later. Let's get some saturation in. Tiny bit of dehaze. Just this road is so bright, this path. I don't know if where is it? Yeah, it's all up in here. And bring that in and let's get the flowers a little bit more saturated. And oops, you guys can't see me here. Yeah, that's looking better. Let's get some reds in. Let's hopefully the reds will be show up in this. Give that a second. I need to see if there's some reds in here. A little bit. Let me see if I pull the reds down this way. Oh, that's going to jack up her skin though. Let's not do that. If anything, I need to raise it a little bit. Light vignette. And be a slight pull off the red here. Put here. Pull these down. Okay, Roberta, we'll see you later. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the timer. I do have a timer. I better stick to that. I don't have too many images today, but I think I'll just end it here. I can keep tweaking, but let me talk about the main things. The main points about this image for me was, she's too dark relative to the rest of the scene, so I brought up the shadows. So now you can see she's actually got a, a jacket vest on. And then just ramping up the colors, right? And I wish I could have done a vertical um, instead of a square crop, but when I did the vertical, I lost the tree, which gives context to what she's looking at, right? She's looking at maybe birds in a tree. Sorry if you hear my dog howling, that's Ellie. But okay, I think that looks pretty good. And let's go to the next one here. This is from Dave Nelson. Oh, Dave, oh my goodness. Thanks for sending. It's been a while. We were talking about you last week. Like we haven't seen any images from you in a while. Him and Bob Tishmarsh. I haven't seen Bob in a long time. Although he does email me time to time with some links and things, but I haven't seen any pictures from him. Okay, M1 Mark II, 12 to 40 Pro, -7 exposure comp, so you're saving the highlights. Center weighted. Uh, that would have, yeah, why not? Oh, yeah, Lightroom local adjustments are fun. But I try to keep it simple. All right, let me run my timer. This one shouldn't be. Let me see where the gradation is. If I pull this up, if I'm thinking full on silhouette, but I just want to see if there's anything in here worth saving. No, it's just grass and brush. So we'll stay with the silhouette idea and maybe even go low key. And with that in mind, uh, let's go back to 4x3 and the tilt. And we'll come up off the bottom a little bit. Maybe 3x2. And just minimize how much negative space is here. Okay, a little more tilt. And let's silhouette this a little more. Oh, there's some interesting clouds in here. Kind of a halo-y cloud. If I can pull those up a little bit, give it a little glow. Yeah, that's working. And then if I go back to adjust color, let me see if I can bring some of the yellows down. Saturated just a little bit more. I'll crank in some sharpening. Be a little more, less of a push. I might have pushed these down a bit too much. I'd like to get a little more light on this side. Okay, let's do some clarity. If that'll bring out, I like the little streaking and halo around here. So I'm going to try clarity, or no, dehaze would do a better job. Let's try that. And then I might have to brighten it back up again. So, oh, hey Plato, how are you? Bring that up a little more. All right. I think that's it. So just under the wire too. So there's the original on the left, and what I tried to do basically was and it looks like Dave intentionally cropped this in camera 16 by 9, but I much prefer the halo around the tree rather than cropping all of that out. So I think that works better. Let me just make sure this is rendered. Yeah, this is rendered. So I think that's better. Getting more of the halo around the tree instead of cropping at 16 by 9. That was a bit too tight, but definitely crop off a lot on the bottom because there's nothing there. It's not even working as negative space. So, okay, nice shot there, Dave. Let's go. Thank you, Plato. Thank you, John. You like that one too, huh? Yeah, there's no fire, right? Dave Nelson was always with the flames. Okay, let me take a quick look here. Excuse me, this one's from Matt. And Matt hit us up with the EM10 Mark II with a Panasonic 25, f3.2, 1500. Yeah, looks good. Um, I need to straighten it. It's a little crooked and it's on a hill. And I'm gonna go with a vertical, I think, on this. So let me stay 4x3. Oh, where's my timer? And see if I can frame this house and tree a little bit better. I think that's okay. Oh, thank you, Ruth. I will go back after I finish these and download anything that's come in. I don't have a lot today. Let me pop the color and see if that's worth saving. No, I'm gonna go black and white. So, let's do monotone. Add a red filter. Yeah, try green. Yeah, that's better. Then I'm gonna pull in. You know me, I like very crispy, gritty black and whites. I may need to soften this one up a bit though. Not crazy about this crop. There's just too much on top. Why? I can come in just even a little tighter. Yeah, all right, let's get some detail back in. Turn off this filter. And oh, hey, Randy, how are you? Uh, oh, I should have done the dehaze before I did anything else. Let me pull this. Okay, accept this. Clarity. Yeah, maybe shutter up therapy. The tree on the left looks too thick. Yeah, it's hanging in there. A little bit heavy in the image, but I'll come back to that. It's just a little bit heavy on the left, top left here, right? Base, versus the bottom left. Um, I'm thinking a slight vignette might fix some of that, but yeah, I do need to come off a little bit more. Stop doing that. Uh, yeah, that's a little better. Let me punch in. Okay, a little bit of vignette, and I'm going to call it there. Maybe a slight split tone to, let's do a sepia look. We'll pull in the shadows down just a bit. Let's get a little bit of red in there. Okay, call it there. Uh, Slightly heavier vignette, maybe. Let's go down to about 8. Okay, so there's the before and after. That needs to render just a tiny bit. But yeah, it's just nothing on the left side of this image worth saving. And on the right, it gets very busy because of the extra tree in the shot. And the fence is blocking everything. So what I wanted to do is basically make the front or the rear face of this building the main story or subject, and then just use all the other elements in the picture to try to frame that one area of the photo. And the colors are so muted, in the wintertime, that's just how it is. So I just went with the black and white, and it's kind of gritty. A soft focus might help here too, but um, that's where I'm going to end it there. Uh, yeah, I haven't seen Lauren. Oh, yeah, Lauren would love the sepia, right? I haven't seen Lauren in a while. He has emailed me recently, so he's doing fine. But he'll come back in the streams, I guess, when he can. He's doing stuff, I think. He's got stuff going on. Oh, thanks, Matt. Let's see. We got here a bridge with a stream. Again, this has to go black and white. This is from Phil. EM10 Mark II, 40 to 150. Yep, all normal settings. Let me I just want to look at this real quick. I don't know if it's worth it to go grainy black and white. Let me do it. Let me do it this way. There's just not enough color in here. Uh, monotone. Monotone gets kind of creepy. Timer. Hmm. Okay. So there's too much here on the left and too much here on the bottom right. Gosh, everything in this image is very busy except for the stream going into this one. So I'm going to do a vertical and really come in tight just to where the image is cleanest. Ugh. Well, I think that's the best I can do. Let's just make it a little bit grittier. I don't think clarity is the right move. I might have to pull that back off. That's not bad. Okay, let me look at the, whoops, I dialed off the clarity. Let me look at the color again. See if there's any, nah, not gonna work. And what if we go low key? I've already kind of pushed the tone curve anyway, so that was a stupid idea. Stay there. But it does give me the idea to just crush the blacks a little bit more. All right, let me look at this crop again. Question is, that puts this front and center, but it just feels no. I like the crop I had before. I move over a little bit to the right. Mm. Okay. Just throw a little bit of sharpness back in. Turn off this filter. Let's see if I can spread the tones out a little bit. I got a minute left. Wow, computer's running slow today. Okay, we'll let that render out and see. Yeah, you took this and it felt, yeah. Okay, I like how that worked out. Uh, okay. Oh, hey Ed, how are you? No, I try to limit my time to 4 minutes per image. That's all. This might be a little bit. Let me back this off just a little bit, and then we'll call it there. Okay. Yeah, you sent me a hard one, Phil. This was a tough edit, but hopefully I pulled something out of it. Let that render. Uh, Not there yet. It's still rendering. Once it's done rendering, I think it'll be something at least. There we go. All right, so yeah, there's just too much nothing in this image is the problem. And I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but it's too busy and there's too much of it. But then there's nothing about that busyness that helps. So I just tried to find the simplest part of the scene and fill most of the frame with just the water, which is smooth. And then to tell any kind of story at all, you got to have the water going somewhere. So it's going into this tunnel or whatever, or under this bridge, right? So water under the bridge is the story here. Okay. Uh, Let's see. I just did that one. Let's do this one. And we have, looks like an Oreo. Okay. What lens is this? It's a little bit busy here. 50 to 200. Oh, it's a vintage lens. I'm just looking at the bokeh here. It's a little bit soap bubbly like, or a little busy. Uh, but you nailed focus pretty much. It's slightly front focused, but that's okay. 1/500, so everything else looks good. Maybe a slightly faster shutter speed because you're at 169 millimeters. I would have probably done closer to 1/1000th. What would that do? If you did that, you'd need one more stop here. Uh, yeah, you would need one more stop, which means an ISO 400. So I don't know if that'd be worth the trade-off. You'd have to try it. Not that you get a second chance with birds, right? All right. So yeah, we have to crop in. And I like doing square crops and pop art with birds generally. Um, so do we frame them towards the top? Let's see how the bokeh looks here. Yeah, let's get rid of the rocks. That's at all possible. Let's try this way. Slight tilt. Ugh, not a great crop. Okay, Mr. Vacation, we'll see you later. Um, okay, I think that's as close as I can get. Maybe a little bit more to the right, just to give them a little more breathing room around the edges. Now let's work on the sharpening. I'll probably need two out of 20 here. Oh, and I need to put a pop art filter on. And then we'll just pull off do some gradation. Pull off the saturation a bit. And let's pull off some of the highlights, just a tiny bit. Oh, you know, the sharpening is jacking up everything else. Let me take this art filter off. Go this way. The art filter and the sharpening combined is just that's not helping either. I like the pop art. I'll go back to that. Running out of time. Pull it off a little bit more. And my sharpening settings. Back it off. Oh, When I'm trying to get the feathers in, these stones and everything start to look a little bit too harsh. Okay. All right, I'm out of time. Let me add a vignette and we'll call it. I'll go a little bit heavier. All right, let's do before and after. Okay, so yeah, not bad. Too bad you couldn't get closer, or yeah, birds are hard. Birds are hard to, tiny birds are really hard. I think a slightly faster shutter speed, maybe 1/750th. But you don't want to bump the ISO on birds because then you start to lose a lot of detail in the fine feathers. Um, but okay, I think that works still. Okay. Uh, what do we got here? A helicopter from John Follows. And let's see, we got both edges. The problem with this shot is basically a product photography shot. And it's a little bit too tight. What did you use here? EM1X 40 to 150 at 40 millimeters. So you were as wide as you can get without backing up. Um, because when you make it this tight, I don't have a lot of wiggle room to straighten. I'd like to get one straight line in the shot, like so. And then I have to decide if I can save. I'm not going to save the tip on the right. This allows me to crop in a bit. Not that we need to see it on the right side so much, but um, and then lower to the ground in the front. Let's see, some gradation. And dramatic tone number 1. And a little bit here, a slight push. There, maybe a little more saturation. And slightly warmer. Try 5800. Okay, bring the sharpness back in. Something about, oh, I didn't put my timer, nothing on. So I've already been on this a couple of minutes. A little more green and yellow. Tiny bit of blues. Let's raise the luminance of the blue a tiny bit. And the cyans, or whatever this color is. I'll need a slight tilt. I'm basically trying to get the center motor here straight. Okay, let me think about the crop before I finish. What if I went this way? Okay, I'm gonna call it there. All right, there's the before and after. Dramatic tone filter works really well with like machines, large, heavy equipment in good lighting. And this is in relatively good light. It's a little bit in the shadow, but yeah, I think that makes for kind of a fun picture of heavy equipment or, large machinery like a helicopter, an airplane, these kinds of things. I'm not crazy about the sky being shaded like that by the dramatic tone filter, but it adds sort of a vignette to the image, so I'm fine with it. I think just a tiny bit more contrast would look good, particularly on the whites. Where's my tone curve? Might have I have to pull this a little bit more. Okay, there. Now I'm done. Yeah, pretty cool shot. What's that? The name of this helicopter is Gerbil. That's funny. Um, all right, let's go to. Oh, that was the last one there. Let me see. I know there's Lightroom. I need to do some in there. Let me see what else has come in. I know some of you guys are waiting. Where is it? Oh wow, a bunch came in. Like six more images. Let me just download these. Okay, let me synchronize. Yeah, this folder. Synchronize. Well, let me download these other ones before I synchronize. Hold on. Extract. Okay, let me synchronize this now. Oh, Saeed Najam, I can't work with that one for some reason. So I guess send it as a JPEG maybe. All right. Let me organize these a little bit. I need to do this one, viewer edit. What is this? I think that's a viewer edit. It looks like a kaleidoscope of the image that I gave out. So that's a viewer edit. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. No, the polls and everything. Yeah, that's definitely a viewer edit. Interesting. I wonder who sent that in. I need to do this one. 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 This one. Okay. Red. Okay. And last but not least, start here. Um, all right, so wow, so there's a little bit of fog here. And so this is a Nikon from Jared. Oh, Jared, you submit pretty regular. I don't know. Since I'm not doing these 3 times a week like I used to, it just it feels your edit. Did you just send it, Image Writer? Is it not in here already? If not, I'll get to it. Let me. Oh, I see it. Yeah, I did download yours. You're all right, I think. Okay, I see it. I'll look at it. All right, let me get back to this one. Um, so I don't want to lose this fog. It's kind of interesting, but now I have to straighten it. And if I do that, I'm not going to be able to save the back end. Because you know how I am with images. They generally need to be straight, but I guess we're okay. Let me just click auto here. I'm going to separate the colors just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to make it look more golden hour look. Like so. But I need to, oh, my timer. Ooh, black and white. I'm gonna stick with color though, because the colors are interesting. I wonder. I'm gonna try a little light painting. I should be allowed to have more time on the Lightroom edits because I can do some interesting things with light painting, but they take time. So, feather flow, we're good here. This is gonna be a waste of time. Yeah. Yeah. This is all right. That was a waste of time. Let me go back to auto. Push the colors, clarity, and texture. Keep that fog. Mm, yeah, I agree there, Tony. Uh, I got about a minute or so. I'm debating if I really don't like to dehaze too much, but what I need to do is where are the shadows? I need to cool off the shadows a tiny bit and warm up highlights. All right, I gotta call it there. Wow, beautiful ship, but I'm having a hard time editing this. So let me reset this one. Okay, so there's oh, can you guys see that? Let me check my live stream. Something's weird. Okay, that looks okay on the live stream. Just my on my screen it looks weird. Uh so there's the before and after. Well, okay, before on the left, edit on the right. It's okay. Yeah, the crop is just too tight. I know sometimes you don't have any choice based on where you're standing. Um and I really try to give it a golden hour look because if you notice on the mass, obviously here on the back, the sun is hitting it pretty hard. But I wanted to try to accentuate these things on the masks and things too with just global editing without trying to, I tried to brush at first, but that was a disaster. But this would be a really cool shot if you take some time and light paint this thing with a brush. This could be a really cool shot. But in the few minutes that I have to edit, that's the best I can do there. All right, let's take this one. Oh, wow. What are these? These are white cranes or something. Great shot. What do we use here? This is EM1X with a 100 to 400. Nice. 1/2000. Good shutter speed. Yep, excellent. Really good job, Shutter Up, on the on capturing this, the exposure. Probably use Pro Capture too because the timing here is really good. Egerts, thank you, Egerts. I'm not really a bird person, but yeah. Um, let me hold on. I gotta fix my screen. Suddenly my screen got weird. All right, there we go. Yeah, great settings. So, yeah, I think a vertical's in order here. Let me, yeah, let me try vertical. And just need to work on the sharpening a bit. So, this is a JPEG. All right, so I'm gonna have a few limitations here. Let me, I'll do what I can. I'll do that. And let's try the texture. Yeah, you did Pro Capture, right? I figured. Let's do a little texture. Because birds is all about getting the feathers. And then we can sort of accentuate the colors. Let me just go back. Crank this up. Okay. And let's separate a little bit more so the birds stand out. I need to change the hue a little bit. Yeah, let's go a little bit bluer and a little bit darker. Oops, I'm starting to get some grain. I want to do too much there. All right. And okay. Can I come a little bit off the bottom maybe? Yeah, just a tiny bit off the bottom. Come over to the right. A little bit more at the bottom. Okay. Ah, too tight on the right. Right about there. All right, let me, oh, it's a JPEG, that's why. Gosh, how am I going to fix some of this blotchiness? I don't think I can. I'll just back off the clarity a tiny bit. And push the whites. Straighten the angle out. Oh, there, I got it, John. I was so focused on just the details. All right, let's end it there. So do a before and after. Um, and compare. So there's the before and after. So yeah, that looks pretty good. I think just a tighter crop so you can see more detail. Hopefully you have the raw image back at home, on your computer. Uh, but yeah, it's a beautiful shot. I didn't have to do much, just a little bit of tweaking to bring out some of the contrast and details in the feathers. Let's see how I did on that. Oops, I didn't lock these. So a little bit. It's harder with the JPEG because I started getting blotchiness when I was messing with the tones, but mainly the contrast, right? All right, let's go to the next one. We have one here. What is this? The bird bath. I think the bird is just cleaning himself. I doubt there's any fish in that puddle. Um, this will be pretty straightforward, I think. We'll just work with this reflection. Maybe more like that. And this is what? This is EM1 Mark II. Good shutter speed. 300 millimeter f4. Nice. From Ruth. Okay, Ruth. There's your shot. All right. So I'm going to do that. And just click on auto. And you're welcome, shutter up. Uh, some clarity. Into haze. And I'm going to punch the saturation. Warm it up a bit. I keep forgetting the timer, but this one won't take too long. And some vignette. I have no idea what this thing is. Ah, Pro Capture, right? Yeah. That Pro Capture is awesome. It's one of the, it just is so nice. I mean, I don't use it much myself, but when you do need it or want to use it, it really is amazing the kind of shots you can get. Um, Need to straighten this just a tiny bit. All right, let's work on some of the sharpness. I'm gonna punch in here. Good. Uh, Pull off just a little saturation maybe. Oops, not that much. And we'll push the blues. Okay. Then maybe do anything else. Um, I think I'll just soften up this bokeh a little bit. Okay, we'll call it there. I need some more speculars though. Let me crank up the clarity, push the whites. I can't do that too much. Okay, I think that'll do it. So virtual copy, reset, compare. Oops, not reject, compare. So there we go. Yeah, basically crop in. This photo is about the reflection and the action of this bird, right? So I had to keep the reflection and then minimize everything else. It's a little dark now that I'm looking at it, but I think we're okay. All right. Thanks for sending that in, Ruth. That was fun to edit. Let's see what else we got here. Some moss. Oh, thank you, Shutter Up. This was from EM10 Mark II on 60th with a 12mm f2 at f4. Oh, Randy, you sent this in. Okay, Randy. Uh, Lichen, whatever that is. All right, so let's crop into just like this grass is useless on the left side, and we'll just do sort of a focus on just the main parts of this map or growth. Give it a little breathing room and vignette. And some clarity. Let's see if we can get a little more out of the colors. texture. And I'm a little torn with a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to pull a little bit more blue into the shadows. And then warm up the midtones. Right about there. And see how we are on sharpness. Do that. I don't need to mask too much. Pull off that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh my God. You're funny, Tony. You've never seen red before. What are you talking about? All right, I'm going to call it there. I think uh, since this image is all about this lichen or whatever this stuff is, that's all I'm going to focus on. So there is the before and after. Basically, basically crop and saturate and sharpness, right? Oh, you never seen red lichen before in the desert. I see. Okay. So I exaggerated the red a little bit in this because of the magenta. Let me pull that off a little bit. Uh, yeah, that's probably better. But there's the final image. Pretty cool. All right, let's go to the next one. We have one here from Samir. Nikon Z7 II. Oh, wow, this is a new camera. 24 to 70 f4. Nice, really nice setup. Pretty much the same, Randy. Yeah. Because you know that's another image that's about texture, right, and color, and really the subject itself is about the texture and color, not so much uh, like there's a story or anything going on there. Um, okay, so wow, I haven't seen anything from a Z7 yet. Let's see what are the dimensions of this. This is 82 by 55, so that's 9 by 6. Can't do my math, but that's a lot of megapixels. Looking good. Over the EXIF again. 1/6 of a second. Ooh, that is a little bit too slow. Unless you're on a tripod. That might explain why. Because it feels, well, not really. It feels about right. But it feels like there's a little bit of motion blur maybe. Unless you're on a tripod. It's very subtle. Okay, so let's develop. And right away, this whole left, bottom left, and top have to go. Yeah, plenty of room to crop, right? So let's just focus on the rainbow. Let's get rid of this twig over here on the right. And let's try and come up with a composition a little bit tighter. See how that looks with the bridge in the middle. I don't like it. Is there any vertical opportunity here? Maybe this. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Let's have the rainbow frame. I don't like this uneven though here. I wish I had a little more balance over there. And black and white. Ooh, we lose the rainbow though, right? Which is kind of, I don't know if it's worth it. Because there's no color in this image except a faint hint right there, which is going to require vibrance to bring it out. I don't know if it's worth it. What if I brush that spot with some vibrance? I can brush it with saturation. Okay. Man, this crop sucks. I just don't like this crop. Let me go back to a wide crop. I don't like this either. So do that. And let's do whites. No, dang it. Definitely a little texture and clarity. Okay. God, I'm gonna push the reds. Greens. Let's do the white balance a little bit warmer. Yeah, Chuck says everybody's wanting to go landscape. Okay, I'll come back to that. Let me give this some thought. I'm out of time, but I just didn't feel good about the landscape. See if I remember how to do sky replacement. It's been a while. I used to do it a lot in my real estate stuff, but I haven't had a real estate job in a couple months now. I might have one coming up this month though. One. It's pretty pathetic. All right. How do you do it again? It's over here, right? Edit sky replacement. Uh Pick something kind of appropriate. Puffy clouds. How about that? This. Yeah, that's good enough. All right. So we'll wait for that to come back. And let's reset this one. So there's my before and after. Oh my God. Uh Man, the rainbow's too saturated. The vertical crop just when I looked at the landscape crop though, I couldn't find anything because this is a mess over here on the left side. Um, but I didn't want to lose the rainbow, a mini rainbow. Let me just explore what it's just a wide crop and see if there's any hope of saving. Oh, that's not bad. Do a sky replacement, right? Um, who is this from again? This is from Samir. I'm going to assume you have Lightroom because you're shooting with a Nikon. But we'll do a sky replacement with the same clouds. I bet, some of these sky replacements are really cool, like that. That doesn't really match though. Uh, that's a little too busy. How about another rainbow? All right, I'll go back. We'll just keep it simple. I think that's kind of an interesting edit there. That particular crop, throw in some skies. I'd have to work a little bit more on the exposure overall. But for those of you guys that wanted to see a landscape version, that's fairly close to what I would do. Um, where is Lightroom there? All right, let's go to, let's see, we got this from a G81 with the 75 to 300. Wow, a little mix there. Whoops. Let me go back. Oh, Dawid. Awesome. Nice detail. This is a great shot. This will be an easy edit for me. Um, so let's just click auto and push the shadows a little bit more and the whites. And actually, this is a bit too warm. Let's cool it off a tiny bit. And crop out some of the extraneous branches. Let's do a rule of thirds. A little bit lower. Okay, we're almost there. All right, let's work on the sharpness here. And pull off a tiny bit of color noise. Do some sharpening. Mask that out to about there. A little more. Okay, good. This area here, let me see, is the sharpening causing that? Yeah, a little bit. So I need a little bit less, either radius, less radius, or maybe more masking. Okay, let me check again. Okay, that's acceptable. Okay. Um, oh, hey Garrett, how are you? Um, I think we're good here. Let's work on the color a little bit. Go back this way and this way. And I need to pull off a little bit of this orange. Some of the yellow. There we go. Definitely more red. Okay. It's add a little bit of vignette. Feather that. See if I can pull. Doubt I can pull this color out by itself. Yeah, there's nothing there. All white. But a little bit. Maybe just a little bit here. Okay, we'll call it there. Um, maybe a slight fix here. Eh, it's better to do that in Photoshop, but okay. So let's do that and compare. There we go. There's the before and after. Did it render? Wait. Sometimes it's not rendered. There we go. So there's the before and after. So I tried to bring the details out on the feathers and around the eye and everywhere without making it look over sharpened, right? So I think that looks pretty good. Okay. All right, last one, I think, right? I've done, yeah, last one. This is from Rob Shoot Photos, the macro guy. I don't even know if you're still here. Oh, thanks, John. Both Johns, thank you very much. Um, you know this is going to be an EM1 plus a macro. Oh, EM5, duh. EM5 Mark III, 60 millimeter macro, F11, 8, ISO 800. 1/200th of a second. That's interesting. Oh, because it's F11. Yeah, that's a tough shot. You need a flash on this. All right. Oh, you are here. Could have used a flash, I think, because your shutters, this ISO 800 is bothering me. But okay, let's warm this up. Let me click auto here. Ugh, I don't like that at all. Let's straighten the ant out and crop in this way. Get that stupid blurry leaf out. Maybe do a square crop. And I do want to see underneath this leaf. I think that's good. Okay, so we just need some vignette. We pull off a little color noise. And now I need to work this color a little bit. Good. And we'll just pull off some of the yellows and greens here. Crank up the reds. A little less vignette. This crop is not. It's just the ant is just too high up in the frame. Okay. I think that'll do it. Um, so let's compare. So Rob's saying I actually have a few natural light shots where some of the bokeh balls in the background. Okay. So there we go. Basically just warmed it up. I mean, it almost looks like a flash shot, but because you're at ISO 800, I seriously doubt it because the shadows are a little bit harsh. Uh, so that's why I didn't think you used flash, but maybe you did based on the way the shadows are and the light is very harsh here. But anyhow, that's my edit before and after. I think that looks pretty good. A little bit saturated, a little bit oversaturated maybe. So that's easy enough to pull off there. Now we're in good shape. Right? And then if we look at the detail, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. This will print very nicely. Yeah, it's direct sun. That makes sense. All right, let's go to the viewer edits. See if anything new came in. Oh, Ed sent one in. The time, yeah, it's too late, Ed. I'm already kind of but here's an image Ed sent in for me to edit. I'll do this next week, I guess. I'm just I'm well over 2 hours now, so let's go to the viewer edits. Let me synchronize this. Everything looks good. There is one more photo that came in. There's a viewer edit. We'll look at that one first. From Image Writer. Um, wow. So this is hardcore sepia with grain. So we're trying to make this look very vintage, very old, right? Um, okay, I like it though. You know me, I like harsh blacks and very gritty images. And you cropped out sort of the reflection I had in the window. So let me show you guys the original. Um, this is the original image, right? So you can see it's underexposed and I got this reflection. I thought this reflection would be kind of neat when I took the picture, but I don't know. So I just left it in there for you guys to edit. But I'm shooting through pane glass. That's why there's a reflection of this brick. And then the windows in the back were so bright. I think that's why the camera underexposed. Or maybe I dialed in some exposure comp. But in any case, as is, this image is terrible. But it has potential, right? So if we go back to what happened here? Oh, we turn this off, turn this, and put the chat window back in. So that was the original image. And let's see, we have, wow, look at that. That's pretty slick. Um, really good job cutting out and making some blur here. Like streaking. I like this. That's pretty slick. Who did this one? This is from Phil. Good job, Phil. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so you cropped out most of the brick and then basically did a exposure edit, right? Just bringing up the shadows and things. Um, so it's a nice clean edit. Nice wide crop. I like the crop. Jeff Painter, good job. Very conservative edit though, compared to this one, right? This is pretty aggressive editing. Who was this again? This was from Phil. And then Jeff, a little more conservative edit here. And oh, I like this. This is awesome. I like how the horse now we have like a horse, it's sort of just one horse and we can see the details on that one horse rather than it being part of kind of everything else, right? Hold on. My screen keeps jacking up. Okay, there we go. I like this edit and I like the yellow frame. That's interesting. Uh who did this one? Oh, where's my button? Joni. Good job, Joni. I like this. And oh, here's someone that did like the brick reflection in the window. What goes around comes around. You guys are funny. Uh, yeah, this is interesting. Okay. I mean, I was hoping there would be some way to include the bricks, in the image when I took it. So it was very intentional when I added the bricks. But I don't know. I like the color palette here though, overall, that you went with. Good job, Matt. I like that. I would have probably tilted it right a little bit just so the poles are straight instead of they're crooked now. But other than that, I like it. And oh, here's another clean edit. Really, the focus again is on these three horses, right? And but this time you've kind of included the mirrors at the top, which are interesting. and then cut out all my brick and everything else. But it's good, clean edit. I like it. Good job bringing up the shadows and yeah, really really good edit from Steve. Good job. And wow, this is very similar. Same idea, right? A little bit tighter crop, but I think let me look at the original again. Uh, oh, it's my fault. I can't believe I chopped off this bottom foot on the right. That's my bad. It'd have been nice to get this foot in there, but okay. That's not your fault. That's my fault. Let's see. This is from Jarrett. Okay, Jarrett. Really good edit with the colors. I mean, just another way to go about it because like here's a little bit more muted. This is a little more saturated with a vignette. I mean, there's this is a lot like I would probably edit it if I wanted to go with color. I ended up going with the sepia, but I'll show you guys mine if I can find it. Oh, this is nice. This has got a little bit of a selenium or bluish tint to it. And same three horses though, you know, front, middle, back, basically. Pole dancing horses. And Tony says I did an edit on this, but it was so bad the horses ran off. Okay. This is cool though. I like black and whites, of course, right? Who did this one? This is from Jared again. Okay. Ooh, what is this? This is kind of ghostly. Wow, I'm not sure what's going on here. Very soft, ghostly kind of look to it. Huh. I mean, I like the tones, but you know, like this fog effect or soft effect you're adding is kind of like up here in the top left, there's no fog. So it's like it's painted in, and there's certain parts of the image. Still, I don't know. That's an interesting choice, though. That's an interesting way to go. It just feels a little bit painted in. If you could have feathered the fog or this softness a little bit, you know, like right here, it definitely looks like you painted in, did light painting. So just feather it a little bit more, and I think it would be perfect. HKM. Okay, good job. Most of your shots look like that. That's not a bad thing. Ooh, I like this. This is this the same crop? No, it's a little different crop, a little tighter, more of a stampede now kind of feel to it, and very dark. Interesting. Who did this one? Marcel. Okay, Marcel, good job. Interesting. A little bit of softening effect too. Lots of editing going on here. Lots of light painting. Who did the last one? I didn't even see who that was. HKM. Okay, that was HKM. This is Marcel. Kind of similar. I feel like you guys did. Is this? Let me look at the original. No, the original is like that. I'm looking at the floor. The floor has these weird shadows in it. So I can see why the last one. Wow, look at this one. This is this is a very crispy black and white. I like this. Or very high contrast. This is kind of my well, you know, this is kind of my style, right? And Marcel's apparently. This is my style of editing lately with black and white. Hmm. Wow, another interesting one. These merry-go-rounds are always interesting, right? Just photographically speaking, because there's all kinds of things going on. It's just neat to see what you guys do with this. You know, heavy vignette, high contrast. That's cool. Sorry, I gotta check this real quick. Okay. Um, I was actually a client. Maybe I'll make $100 today. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, all right. I like this edit though. High contrast, very muted from Surge. Good job, Surge. Ooh, I like this. I think this is my favorite one so far. I like the crop. I like the editing. Oh, okay, HCam. You didn't have time to finish it. I get it. You were almost there though. I think another 5 minutes of just softening you'd have been in good shape. Let's see. Surge. Good job, Surge. I like this. I think this is my favorite edit so far. It still has a vintage feel and a very limited dynamic range, right? But a high contrast. I like it. Wow, that's really good. And this one, I like the white framing and the windows. That's weird though, why these are blue. That's the only thing throwing me off in here, but I like everything else. It still has a very vintage feel to it. So it's good editing overall, except this blue in the windows. That's weird. It doesn't mesh with the rest of the editing that you did, which is really good. I mean, I like how you got the tones and the flower and everything. Okay, Randy, we'll see you later. This is Dawood. Okay, Dawood. Good to see you back. And that's the last one. Just horsing around. That's the last one. So honestly, I don't know. I like this one. That feels pretty good, and I like these three. Who is this? Was Surge. All three of Surge's I really like today. Surge really outdid himself on this particular. Am I missing some? Let me take a look. I'm missing Jack Max. Okay, let's see. So where's the folder? It's not that folder. Uh, Dang it. I gotta find the folder. RT. Oh, here's one. You're right. Oh my goodness, there's two here from you. I don't know how those are not in the thing. So oh, this is like the that's weird that it didn't come in. I thought it was in Lightroom before. Let me see. Yeah, this one and then this one, right? There's Jack Neck and this one. Oh, we'll just look at them here. Help, Rob is doing a soft edit. You don't like my soft edits? What are you trying to say, Jack? Or Jacob? Killing me. And then the other one you sent in was this one, right? This is kind of a kaleidoscope or mirror image. This is cool. I mean, wow, I like this. Yeah, that's a pretty cool edit. And then the other one. Okay. So now I think I got them all. Um, man, today was turned out to be a long one, but really, thanks everyone for hanging out and working with me on these. Editing mine, those were great. Like I said, I think I like Surge's the best today, but all of you guys did a good job on mine, and hopefully like some of the edits I did on your photo. Um, I did my best today. So I will be back on Thursday for a regular photo chat, and I'm trying to work on a. Oh, you had a second one too, HKM. I didn't see it. Let me see if I can find it. Which button is it? This one. This is not the right. This folder. I don't see it, HKM. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Okay, so I really do need to end it here. But you guys are awesome. Thanks again. I'll be back on Thursday for a regular photo chat. And you guys have a good rest of your week till we see you again. All right, take care. I still haven't figured out how to end these streams yet since I changed my keyboard. Where's the button? Every time. Um, how about this one? Okay, I found it. We'll see you guys next time.